Okay, so good morning to all of the students of Standard 9. We are going to study Subject Science 1 and our topic is reflection of light. Okay, so let's start. What we are going to see today, mirrors and types of mirrors, spherical mirrors and image formed by them, magnification due to spherical mirrors. Now, these are the topics which we will cover today. Okay, just before going to our topic, let's revise the things which we have learned till now. Okay, so this is the just a soft summary. So what are basically mirrors? We need polished surfaces for reflecting light, and this is because polished surfaces absorb less light, and so maximum light gets reflected. In scientific language, a surface which reflects light and creates clear images is called a mirror. Okay, so this is basically a definition of mirror. What mirror is? It absorbs less light, okay, and it emits more. Okay, so maximum light gets reflected. These are the mirrors which we use in our home daily. This is the type of mirrors. By seeing these diagrams, you can identify which are the basic two types of mirrors. Those are plane mirrors and spherical mirrors. What happens in the plane mirror is the mirror which you use inside your home, which we use daily to see our face. Okay, so you can see in the first figure your image and you are identical. Okay, you and you, when you stand in front of the mirror, what it seems that your twin is standing inside the mirror. Okay, so exact whatever is there in front of the mirror is reflected back through the plane mirror. Okay, so what are spherical mirrors? Spherical mirrors are of two types, concave and convex mirrors. Okay, so how to differentiate between these two mirrors? You can see the figure. In concave mirror, the blue shaded region, okay, it is inside the curve. So that is the reflective surface, and that is called as concave mirror. So what is convex mirror? The mirror which is located on the outer surface of the curve. You can see the names given to these diagrams. You can differentiate them easily. What is the hard surface and which one is the reflective surface? Okay, just pay attention towards this concave mirrors and convex mirrors diagrams. If you can draw these diagrams, it will be better for you people to remember. Okay, just see the hard surface and the reflective surface, they are changed. Okay, so let's move forward. Now, how we studied the formation of image in a plane mirror? A plane mirror is there. Okay, rays are falling on the mirror, normal to its surface. So it is incident ray which falls on the plane mirror, and whatever is reflected back, the ray which is reflected back from the mirror to the atmosphere is called as the reflected ray. Okay, now these both are identical. They travel along the same path. So you can see the one arrow towards the mirror and one arrow from the mirror. Both are on the same line. So what usually we observe, we see a clear image of ourselves when we stand in front of a mirror in the house. To understand how the image is formed in a mirror, let us first consider an image formed by a point source. Light travels in all directions from such a source. Several of these rays falls on the mirror, get reflected and reach our eyes. Due to reflection, they appear to come from the point behind the mirror. Okay, so they appear to come from the point behind the mirror. That point of the is the image of the point source. So what this diagram shows? This diagram shows light rays falling perpendicular on the mirror. are reflected back in the perpendicular direction itself. Okay, what is perpendicular? They make a 90-degree angle with the plane mirror. This also you must have studied. The diagram depicts a point source O in front of a plane mirror. M and M dash are the plane mirror. Okay, so first what is happening? An incident ray reflected according to the law of reflection. When these reflected rays are extended behind, you can see the dotted lines which are extended behind the mirror. The mirror, they meet at I. Okay, you can see the capital letter I return. Okay, and image word is returned below it. When we see from E, the rays appear to be coming from O. Thus, point I is the image of the object O. Okay, second is the reflected rays do not actually meet. Hence, such an image is called virtual image. Okay, they do not actually meet. So it is called as virtual image. The perpendicular distance of the image from the mirror is equal to the perpendicular distance of the source from the mirror. This third point is very important. The perpendicular distance of the image from the mirror is equal to the perpendicular distance of the source from the mirror. Okay, this was the extended mirror formation. If we use extended source instead of a point source, an image of every point of the source, thereby forming an extended image of a whole source. Okay, you can see the object, which is the pen. You can see four dotted things. 4 points are highlighted. They have drawn lines, as well as the extended lines are there behind the image, behind the mirror. You can see that it is the virtual image. The image formed by plane mirror is of the same size as of the source. Okay, the size does not change. It remains same. So this also you must have studied that this is called lateral inversion, in which letters are inverted. You can see how E is inverted. You can see how capital letter C is inverted. N is inverted, R is inverted. You can write down all 26 alphabets like this, as well as you can study the letters which are not laterally inverted. Okay, there are some letters, some alphabets which are not laterally inverted. This is an example of lateral inversion. The word ambulance, which appears on the rear mirror of the vehicle, okay, it is readable. Ambulance is written, but on the ambulance it is written by the technique of lateral inversion, so that you people will able to read it when you watch it in the rear mirror. Okay, this is the plane mirror. What happens in the plane mirror? When you raise your right hand, it appears that you have raised your left hand of the image. This also you can try at home. This is the theorem which we are going to study. A statement is given and we are going to derive it. So we will just go through the lines first. In order to see full image of a person standing in front of a mirror, then minimum height of the mirror must be half the height of the person. Okay, you can see the height of the mirror, that is MN. Okay, it is half the height of the person. You can see the capital letter A, which denotes head, capital letter B, which denotes the feet of the person. So in order to see a full image, what height of the mirror is required? Just half the height is required. And you can see the image A1, B1 form. This is the example of spherical mirrors, concave mirror and convex mirror. The famous example of concave mirror is solar furnace. Okay, solar furnace use concave mirrors. Side mirror of vehicle is an example of convex mirror. Okay, again you can see the difference. What happens in the concave mirror? The inner surface of the spherical mirror is the reflecting surface. Then it is called concave mirror. The outer surface of the mirror is the reflecting surface. Then it is called convex mirror. So example of a convex mirror is side mirror of a vehicle. If you can write down these examples, please note down these examples. If you want to write down these points with example, please write it down. So basically what we will remember for concave mirror, the inner surface of the concave mirror is reflecting. And for convex mirror, the outer surface is reflecting. Okay. Before going to the diagrams, let's revise these terms related to spherical mirrors so that you will understand properly when we will see all those diagrams and how images are formed in them. Okay. First of all, C, capital C, which is radius of this circle. Okay, that is called center of curvature. This is called center of curvature. Okay, CA and CP are the radius of the curvature. Just compare this figure with your circle and you will able to identify these notations very properly. P is the pole of the mirror. You can see the capital letter P. F is the focus of the mirror. Okay, which is and the whole line MP is called as the principal focus of the mirror. Now, how to draw these concave mirrors? What you have to do, you have to draw just a single line first. Okay, after that, when you plot the point C, place your zero of the scale at the point C. Okay, you can see that the distance CF and FP is same. That is 3 centimeter and 3 centimeter. You have to maintain this distance so that while drawing all these diagrams, you will able to identify the image formation as per the textbook table given. Okay, so you have to follow this. What you have to do, you first you have to draw a line, plot the point C, place your scale at zero of its measurement at C. Okay, first plot F point. If you take CF distance as 3 centimeter, plot FP as 3 centimeter. Okay, and by placing a steel point at C and your pencil point at P, you can draw a curve which is a concave mirror. Pay attention. If you are able to draw this diagram scientifically properly, then only you will able to observe all those image formations very properly. If you want to draw this, you can take time. This is very important part. So pay attention and draw this figure. I hope you people must have understood. Now, this is a very important rule which is required for observing the images formed by concave mirror. Okay, so first, basically, what is concave mirror? The inner side is reflected. Okay, so you can see all the diagrams, all the rays will fall on the inner surface of the concave mirror. While drawing the concave, while observing the concave images, all the rays will find, all the rays will fall at the inner side of the spherical mirror. Okay, so what this rule says, ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis after reflection passes through the focus. Okay, so ray of light which is parallel to the principal axis. So this is the incident ray. How you will identify the incident ray? You will see the arrow on the ray. If the arrow is towards the concave mirror, okay, from the atmosphere towards the concave mirror, that is your incident ray. Now, how is this incident ray? It is parallel to principal axis. Okay, the axis on which you are drawing CFP is the principal axis. So it is parallel to the principal axis. So what happens if a ray is parallel to the principal axis and which is falling on the spherical mirror? The reflected ray will pass through the focus. The reflected ray will pass through the focus. You can see that the reflected ray, that is the arrow, which is from the spherical mirror towards the environment. You can see that the ray is passing through F, capital F. Based on these three rules, we are going to study all the image formed by the concave mirror. So try to understand this rule. Pay attention on the diagram, see the diagram carefully. What this rule says, that if ray of a light which is parallel to principal axis, okay, can you see the ray of the light, the incident ray which is parallel to the principal axis, the axis on which we have plotted CFP. Okay, so what happens to that incident ray after reflection? It passes through the focus. Can you see that the reflected ray, that is a ray which is having arrow from the concave mirror towards the environment? Okay, it is passing through F. It is passing through capital F. So this is the easiest first rule, which is the essential rule for drawing all the diagrams. After this, this is rule 2, ray of light passing through the center of curvature. Okay, what happens to the ray of light when it is passing through the center of curvature? It is reflected back along the same path. Okay, it is reflected back along the same path. So you can see that we know how to draw CF and P. We have plotted this mirror, CF and P. Okay, so what happens to the incident ray? It straightforward goes to the spherical mirror, and the reflected ray also transfers the same path. Okay, they are on the same path. You can see only one line is there, and both the arrows, that is a arrow intended towards the spherical mirror is there, and the arrow which is going outwards. Okay, these both arrows are placed on the same line. So what happens in this rule 2? Ray of light passing through the center of curvature, that is capital C, is reflected back along the same path. Okay. Then comes the rule 3, okay, which is just the inverse of rule 1. Inverse of rule 1. Okay, what is this? You can see that ray of light passing through the focus after reflection becomes parallel to the principal axis. Okay, so you can see the ray of light passing through the focus, that is F, and the reflection becomes parallel to the principal axis. Okay, so you can see that the reflected ray is parallel to the principal axis. First, try to understand how to draw these concave mirrors. What will be the position of C, F, and P? The distance between CF and FP should be same. After that, just study these 3 rules. Based on these 3 rules, we are going to study all the images formed by the concave mirror. So this is the case 1 from your table on page 122. So first position of the object is, you can see now A, B is the object and A dash, B dash is the image formed of that particular object. So what we have to signify, we have to see first where the object is placed and where the image is falling. Okay, where the object is placed and where the image is falling. Then what about these yellow rays? Okay, so we are going to apply these 3 rules on these rays. Okay, nothing is there, but these 3 rules we are applying on the rays, and then we are going to see that where exactly the image lies, and we are going to study the significance of this image. So you can see that the image, that is a ray headed upwards, denoted by capital letter AB, is placed beyond the center of curvature. Okay, it is beyond the center of curvature. Try to find out the capital letter C written in the diagram and the AB which is written. You can see that the object is placed beyond the center of curvature, and you can see the incident ray. Okay, so now 2 incident rays are passing. One incident ray is parallel to the principal axis. Now we know when the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, the reflected ray passes through the focus. Okay, this was our rule 1. This was our rule 1, that when the incident ray is parallel to a principal axis, then the reflected ray passes through the principal focus. After that, you can see the second arrow headed towards the concave mirror. Okay, it is passing through C, that is center of curvature. Okay, so it is headed towards the concave mirror and it is passing through the center of curvature. So we have studied our rule 2. If the incident ray passes through the center of curvature, then the reflected ray passes, or it traces the same path back. Okay, so you can see on the same line the incident ray arrow is given and reflected ray arrow is also given. So wherever these 2 reflected rays intersect each other, okay, there we have got one point, that is A dash, and one point on the principal focus, on the principal axis, that is B. Okay, so you can see the image A dash, B dash. Now it is headed downwards, and the word for this is inverted. The word for this is inverted. The image is inverted. So what happens over here? The position of the object is beyond the center of curvature. Position of the image is between the center of curvature and focus. Nature of the image is inverted and real, and size of the image is diminished. You can see this is case 2. Now you can identify which one would be the object and which one is the image. The arrow headed upward is the object, and the arrow headed downwards, okay, the blue line is the image. Now just see the rules. An incident ray, whenever parallel to the principal axis, passes the reflected ray passes through the focus. Okay, same thing is happening, and the rule 3 is there, that if the incident ray passes through the focus, the reflected ray is parallel to the principal axis. Just go through the arrows and try to find out those 3 rules. Okay, according to these 3 rules, wherever the two rays intersect, two reflected rays intersect, we get a point, and that point is called 1 point for that image. Okay, the base is same, the base doesn't change, the base is attached to the principal axis. Just the heading point, the point which is headed upwards, we are going to get it headed downwards, and we have to find it at the point of intersection. Okay, so what is the significance of this image? Position of the object is at the center of curvature, that is at capital C. Okay, so position of the image is at the center of curvature. Okay, so we are getting the object and the image both at C, that is center of curvature. So nature of image is inverted and real. Nature of image is inverted, yes, as the arrow is headed upwards for the object, the arrow is headed downwards for the image. So the image is inverted. It is real. What is the size of the object and image? It is same. Okay, so size of the object of the image remains same as that of the object. If you go through those 3 rules, you can draw all the 6 positions of the object, and you can observe the position of the images for the corresponding position of the object. Okay, as well as you can see the nature of the image and size of it. Okay, in your textbook, all these cases are not given precisely. So I have taken all these images so that people will understand exactly what is the object. Now this is case 3, where the object is between C and F, that is center and focus, principal focus. So what is the nature of the image you get? Now you can see a person standing in between C and F. Okay, the person which is standing above the principal axis is the object. Okay, now you can see 2 rays headed towards the spherical mirror. Okay, those are incident rays. Those are incident rays. And now just apply those 3 rules. Okay, when the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, what happens to the reflected ray? It passes through the focus. You can see that the reflected ray passes through the focus. When the incident ray passes through the C, that is center of curvature, the reflected ray transfers the same path back. Okay, so they are on the same one and the same line. Okay, now you can see the object, that is the person standing below the principal axis. His head is downwards. That is, the image is inverted. The image is real and it is magnified. How it is magnified? You can see the size of the object. The person standing on the principal axis. Okay, the size of the person is small, but while seeing its image, okay, the image is larger. That is, it is magnified. You can get a magnified view of the object. So what basically we are studying in these cases? We are just studying the position of the object and the position of the images formed, okay, by applying the three rules, the three basic principal rules of concave mirrors. I hope you people might understand these formations as well as the technicalities while drawing these formations. So pay attention on the CFP placement so that you people will observe the exact things whatever is given in the table. Now this is our case 4. You can find the object. It is placed on F, that is principal focus. Two incident rays which are falling on the spherical mirrors. You can see the reflected rays, that is the arrows passing from the spherical mirrors. Okay, again apply our rules. First rule, that is when the incident, if the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, what happens to the reflected ray? It passes through the focus. Okay, and if the incident ray passes through the center of curvature, the reflected ray travels along the same path. It traverses on the same path. Okay, so only single line is there. You can see the arrow headed towards the spherical mirrors and out of the spherical mirrors. So can you see any image formed over here? No, image is not formed. Why? Because you can see the word parallel written over there. Okay, at the reflected rays. These two reflected rays do not meet each other. Okay, they are parallel. Okay, so moving on, going towards case 5, object is between F and P. Okay, that is focus and pole. The person is standing in between focus and pole. Okay, now you can see as the reflected rays, they do not meet, but we are extending those two lines and we are finding the point of intersection of those two lines to get our image. Okay, so this is the virtual image. This is the virtual image. Okay, wherever we extend the reflected rays and we try to find out their point of intersection, the image formed by these extended rays is the virtual image. Okay, so what happens to the incident ray and reflected rays over here? Again, you can see that the line, the incident ray passing through parallel to the principal focus, then the reflected ray passes through the focus. Okay, after that, if the incident ray passes through the center of curvature, then the reflected ray also traverses the same path. So how is the image formed? The image is formed virtual. It is erect. You can see the head of both the persons. They are heading upwards only. So they are erect and the image is magnified. You can see that the object was small, but the image's size is greater than that of the object. So the image here we are getting is magnified. So this is the table which is given in your textbook, we have precisely seen all the 6 cases over here. Okay, you all can draw these diagrams at your homes just by placing the C, P, and F properly in the concave mirrors. If you draw these diagrams, you will be able to understand these diagrams as well as the image formation and the nature of images. So let's go just by reading these tables. So what happened in first, when the position of the object is between the pole and focus, position of the image is behind the mirror, nature of the image is erect, virtual, size of the image is magnified. What happens at the second, position of the object is at focus, position of the image is at infinity. Okay, we can't find the image, so the position of the image is at infinity. Nature of the image is inverted and real. Size of the image is very large. Position of the object between focus and center of curvature, beyond the center of curvature. Okay, nature of the image is inverted and real. Size of the image is magnified. What happens to the position of the object when it is placed at center of curvature? The position of the image is at the center of curvature. This you can remember. Okay. Um, if the object is at center of curvature, the position of the image is also same at the center of curvature. What is the nature of the image? It is inverted and real. Size of the image is same as the object. Okay, what happens when the object is placed beyond the center of curvature? Position of the image is between the center of curvature and focus. Nature of the image is inverted and real, and size of the image is diminished. Position of the object when it is placed at a very large infinite distance, position of the image is at focus, inverted, real, point image. Okay. So to study this, what you all are going to follow is, first you are going to see all the 3 rules, and then you are going to see the images formed by these concave mirrors. So go through all these position of objects, try to locate all the position of the images just by these 3 rules. So here we end up with our today's session. I hope you might find it exciting. So go through all these diagrams and the interesting table which we have learned today. Here we end up with our today's session. Thank you and have a nice day.